The father, the son, the daughter, the machine bigger brother.
3,
the opponent's
2,
many. The mission, the war zone!
Activate.
Let the wars begin!
Can the number 4 seats triumph as war zone time flies by and the teams grin and bear it?
I don't fancy you at all. Excuse the expression.
No excuse me's in the war zone of big claws and pincers and the cruel countdown to meltdown!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Master of Mayhem, Craig Charles.
Welcome to another heat of Robot Wars. But the bad news is, places in our series semi-finals are running out fast, and they're hotly, I mean hotly, contested with a cash pot of over £20,000 up for grabs this year. Oh yes, there's everything to fight for. Especially as tonight, bigger brothers in the war zone! You see, they know what that means. So, let the wars begin!
Craig joining bigger brother in our first fight, Typhoon 2, Colossus and U.R.O. In our second fight, we have the return of Iron Ore, Disconstructor, Xenomorph, and Hammerhead 2.
From Preston in Lancashire, Colossus.
Fought in the Sixth Wars, lost its first battle though.
Right, this is Team Colossus. Your robot is Colossus. What does it do?
Well, it has 2 100mm bore rams in it. It has a diamond edge disc running off a 750 motor.
Disc at the back, flipper at the front.
Yeah.
Is that a lethal combination?
We hope so.
2-wheel chain driven with 11-inch go-kart wheels, the body panels of titanium dural with a Kevlar steel knitted wool inner, has the pneumatic flipper and the diamond cutting disc, but is not yet tested in battle.
From Brighton in East Sussex and number 4 seed, Bigger Brother.
Runners-up in the 5th Wars and 3-time semi-finalists.
Ian.
Yes?
We have seen a lot of seeds go out this year. Have you modified your robot?
Well, no, it's our turn to go out. See, that's it. We're not going to break the trend here.
You're not. You're going to go out. Straight away, round 1.
Round 1. Well, we'll try not to, but you know the way it goes.
Flipping toss-tastic, mate, so they say. The Cobalt titanium rear armour, bulletproof. The Spike Ram flipper, awesome. Never beaten in the first round of any heat.
From Lancing in West Sussex, U.R.O.
Newcomers, Team MIBO. Oh, Jane, find out what that means for me.
Here you are, men in black.
Overalls.
Liking your work. And your robot is U.R.O. for...
Unidentified rotating object. We are a secret organisation devoted to ridding the world of killer robots.
How fast is it?
We're not quite sure. We haven't spun it in anger yet, but you'll see it for the first time out there.
VWW, very weird and wacky, invertible with an innovative and destructive high-mass bidirectional circumferential 2.5 kilogram disc. Now you know, very inexperienced.
From Edinburgh in Scotland, Typhoon 2.
The teams fought in previous lightweight and middleweight championships. Now they want this heavyweight to be top of the bill.
Now, I believe you have a family of robots that you've all built.
Yes, this is the heavyweight robot. This is the featherweight robot. And we've got a middleweight.
Now, why have you decided to build all these robots when you're supposed to be flying planes, aren't you?
We are indeed, but we're trying to interest young people in engineering. And that's the main theme behind what we're doing in project work.
And it certainly works, does it?
It certainly does. They're exceedingly keen, and the girls as well. They built the little featherweight on their own.
So, what are your tactics when you're driving out there?
Well, I'm sorry, but that's a military secret.
So those who are defending our airways and skyways are in fact building robots. A rotating cone with a heavy steel outer ring and 4 rotating claw hammer cutters. It can topple though before the weapon reaches gyroscopic speed.
Roboteers, stand by.
The teams then, Typhoon on the left-hand side, the Edinburgh Air Cadets, and U.R.O, captained by Mark Stringer on the right-hand side, men in black overalls. Bigger brother, of course, Joe, Ian and Ellie Watts on the left, and Colossus, captained by Robert Kenyon on the right. In the arena for the house robots, Sir Killalot. Good to see him gleaming, looking mean. Sergeant Bash as dapper as ever.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Bigger brother, runner-up to Razer in the grand final of the 5th Wars, a very capable machine and already flipping U.R.O up onto the ref box little black book, it would seem. Colossus under pressure as well, has inadvertently pressed the pit release and is in trouble, flipped up and over, 100 kilos, a very low ground clearance, but it didn't matter. Bigger brother with a reminder on the pit release, but it's already been signalled. Typhoon 2, quick across the arena floor. U.R.O already flapping, one of the side pieces seems to be coming away, does it? It's all this trouble there for U.R.O, we can see the innards exposed, a side panel has been ripped away. U.R.O towards the angle grinder, look at Typhoon 2 and Bigger Brother teaming up here on U.R.O. Mark, Peter and Chris, the U.R.O boys in trouble. Little Joe Watts, only 10 at the controls of Bigger Brother. Good driving as well. He controls the weapons actually, Joe. Daddy and drives the ref bot, counting Colossus out we saw. And I don't think it's going to be long before the newcomers, Team MIBO, men in black overalls, become a grey and distant memory in Robot Wars history. Little tease there for Bigger Brother. Scuttling after Typhoon 2. Tell you what, if you've noticed, but Typhoon 2 is not spinning. I think they've got problems as well, and they're toppled. So, if they can't spin properly, they might not be able to self-right Typhoon 2. Colossus is being counted out by the ref bot. Took a long, long look at Colossus before starting the count. They've gone. And Bigger Brother have virtually beaten everyone here. Colossus already battered into submission when it was turned up onto its side. U.R.O turned over. It is invertible, but there's nothing running at all. And what about Typhoon 2? Colossus appears still to be mobile, but it wasn't. It was counted out, and that's what you need to see. Typhoon 2 is still mobile. U.R.O isn't being counted out. So for me, it will be Colossus and U.R.O who go. The men from Lancing in West Sussex counted out, though, and although Colossus is still moving at the end, it was earlier counted out, I'm sure. Craig may well want to consult with the referees. Sir Killalot is getting some revenge here on Bigger Brother. A piggyback. Well, that's brotherly love for you. Brothers in arms in the war zone on Robot Wars, the 7th Wars. Well, put him down. Bigger Brother lives to fight another day. Shame about Colossus, really. Could have been a worthy robot had it survived. A little bit longer, but not with driving skills like that. Straight down the pit. And U.R.O to follow suit. Yeah, just the sight, the sight of Sir Killalot had them driving into the pit.
What fight! In all the confusion, Colossus and U.R.O were counted out. That means Bigger Brother and Typhoon, they go marching on! Join me after the break for more robotic rumbles on Robot Wars. Welcome back to Robot Wars. 2 robots are already through to the next round. But who's going to join them? Bring on the next 4 victims.
From Red Hill in Surrey, Disconstructor.
New boys could prove disconcerting for some.
What does your robot do? What's his name and what does he do?
It's called Disconstructor. It has a 20 kilo spinning disc that travels at about 2,500 RPM.
Spinning discs do a lot of damage out there. A lot of people are frightened of them. But what are spinning discs frightened of, Mike?
Oh, drivers with more experience than we've got, I think.
The 20-kilo stainless steel disc is powered by Lynch motors. Titanium shell runs inverted, but there's a lack of experience and a high ground clearance too.
From Hastings in East Sussex, Xenomorph.
New to Robot Wars, but looks mean and fairly impressive.
Okay, what do we have here?
A reverse wedge with a vertical spinning disc on the front, powered by 2 wheelchair motors, and modelled like a...
Alien.
Modelled like an...
Xenomorph from Alien.
Brilliant. Now, in non-technical speak, that means that this wedge goes backwards. It can work both ways.
It'll work both ways up, yes.
It works both ways. You need no self-righter in this one.
A 2-wheeled cross, if you like, with the dragging wedge-shaped tail and a front armed with a spinning disc on a moving arm. Can run upside down, can attack forwards and backwards. It is quite light, I think.
From Delft in the Netherlands, Hammerhead 2.
Has fought in Dutch Robot Wars twice, a heat semi-finalist there.
What does it exactly do?
It has a couple of side hammers to ram and a powerful full-pressure flipper on the back.
So has it been in many wars?
It's been in the second Dutch Robot Wars.
And it fights well?
Yeah, I made some improvements since then and it fights pretty good.
They say it looks like a Hammerhead shark. I say it looks like a metal box on wheels. It's very powerful, full pressure flipper for the tail and side hammers. Lack of arena knowledge, though, could cost them here.
From Moorfield in Cambridgeshire, Iron Ore 2.1.
Now an experienced team, this fighting in their 4th wars. Never won a heat, though.
So your machine is Iron Ore, I believe?
That's correct.
And what does Iron Ore do?
It has a full power flipper and a full power axe. They both operate in approximately 1/10 of a second, so you can't actually see it with the naked eye.
Are you stronger with the flipper or stronger with the axe?
We're pretty strong with both of them.
Equally as good as each other?
Yeah.
A wedge with an axe and flipper, improved mobility and lower ground clearance this time, can penetrate 4mm steel, but it has a history of flying out of the arena, which isn't a help.
Roboteers, stand by.
To the teams then, Niels de Carpentier and Richard van der Berg of Hammerhead 2 on the left-hand side, Iron Ore, and the Grims with Ian Bilbo on the right. Xenomorph there, captained by Jeff Flitton on the left, and Disconstructor, Mike James and Laurie Phillipson. In the arena, Sir Killalot, alongside our house robot there, Sergeant Bash.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Well, Iron Ore has bags of experience, crosses the arena floor, looking for damage and chasing the ref bot. Interesting shaped Disconstructor, isn't it? With that circular saw blade sort of hanging out in front. Xenomorph as well looks quite potent. Flipped up though was Hammerhead. Bounces down. Disconstructor with a little nudge on the back of Xenomorph, which has got itself tied in underneath Hammerhead too, and needs to self-right from there. The Dutch team from Delft about to be shattered, it would seem, unless they can self-right. Trying. Oh, into the pit goes Disconstructor. No danger whatsoever. Oh, what on earth happened, Mike Phillipson? Suddenly the pit yawned open underneath them and they were down. Iron Ore hooks onto Hammerhead. And the team from Delft feeling quite blue, I would imagine. But turning away now and chasing Sergeant Bash back into the CPZ, the corner patrol zone. There you can see Niels, driver builder, a network engineer by trade, and who created Hammerhead 2, pursuing Xenomorph. For me, it would be Iron Ore, certainly at this stage, because they've been the more aggressive and the more experienced, the more stylish, if it goes to a judge's decision. And one from the other two. There, the potential destructiveness of Iron Ore. Do you see the axe there? Pinned into Xenomorph's exo frame, bouncing it away. You're talking about lifting a 95 kilos robot there. Just to give you some sense of the weight of these machines. Iron Ore 2 scuttles across the arena floor, bounces off that sidewall, dodges Sergeant Bash, So Kilowatt, mean and squat looking, waiting permission to come out of that CPZ. We're very tense and tight here now. Iron Ore, the little front flipper, rises. The axe comes down, pins onto Xenomorph. You can see Xenomorph has taken some damage around the hubs, some denting, some bashing. Oh, Iron Ore tries to flip Sir Kill-A-Lot, and very nearly did so, and Sergeant Bash comes out as a little reminder, do not take on my troop, son. Extra square bashing for you, Iron Ore. Waits to get a little axe blow. What on earth is that? What on earth is that? Where has that come from? Iron Ore is okay. Xenomorph is pushed. Hammerhead 2. Cease. Kilowatt's teeth, is it? Certainly took a bashing. Who goes through? It's up to the judges.
Well, not much happened there. Even the house robots got impatient. Disconstructor, certainly not a driver constructor, drove itself into the pits. The other three go to the judges. They'll be looking at the usual criteria. While they're making up their minds, let's review the highlights, if there were any.
The eyes of Sir Kill-A-Lot will blink no more, it would seem. Good attack by Iron Ore. That's when Disconstructor took the easy way out. Hammerhead 2, flipping. Xenomorph flipped. Iron Ore for me has to go through. I don't know between the other two. I simply don't know.
And the judges have made their decision. No controversy, really. They've gone for Iron Ore and Hammerhead.
It must have been close between the other two, but Disconstructor and Xenomorph out, Iron Ore and Hammerhead 2 through. This is how they line up in round 2 of Heat O. Bigger Brother will fight Iron Ore, Typhoon 2 fights Hammerhead 2.